So, we've all talked to an AI, right? You ask it a question, it gives you an answer. But what if the AI could talk back and then go book your flights, manage your budget, and plan your next project for you? Today, we're diving into the world of AI that doesn't just know things, it does things. Think about it. Right now, our relationship with AI is mostly a one-way street. We ask, it answers. But this question gets to the heart of a huge shift. What happens when that AI can take our request and actually turn it into a real-world action with multiple steps? And we're not just talking about a slightly better search engine. We're talking about an active partner, an assistant that can autonomously manage a whole project from start to finish, or book a really complicated trip with multiple stops, or even run an entire online store while you're asleep. This isn't science fiction anymore. It's the core idea behind a technology that's moving incredibly fast, and it's called AI agents. And trust me, this isn't just a small upgrade. It's a totally different way of thinking about how we're all going to interact with computers. Okay, this slide just nails the difference. On the left, you've got your standard AI, what we're calling a brain in a jar. It's incredibly smart, for sure, but it's also trapped. Its knowledge is stuck in the past. But on the right, you have the AI agent, a brain with tools. And you can see it's connected to, well, everything. It can talk to apps, it can pull live data, and most importantly, it can actually take action out there in the digital world. So let's get a bit more formal for a second. An AI agent is a system designed to perceive its environment, make decisions, and take autonomous actions to achieve a specific goal. Now, the key word on this entire slide is autonomous. That's the game changer. It means you don't have to hold its hand through every single step. You give it the goal, and it figures out the how. So, how do they actually pull this off? Well, it all comes down to this really simple but powerful core loop. It all starts when it gets a mission from you. Then, it scans the scene, kind of like a detective, gathering all the info it needs. Next, it thinks it through and comes up with a plan. Then, the important part, it takes action using its tools. And, this is critical, it learns from what happened. It adapts. And this isn't a one-and-done deal. This loop just keeps running, getting smarter and closer to the goal with every cycle. But that core loop is just the engine, you know? To handle the really complex, messy jobs, agents need a playbook. And the best way to think about it is like a set of Legos. Just a few core strategies or design patterns that you can snap together in different ways to solve almost any problem you throw at it. We're going to break down the three most important of these Lego blocks. And once you get these, you'll really understand the secret sauce behind how these agents can tackle such ambitious tasks. First up is the most fundamental block of them all, using tools. This is what gives that brain its hands and feet. It's what lets it finally break out of that jar and actually do things in the digital world. So what does using tools actually mean? It means the agent is no longer limited to its pre-trained knowledge. It can connect to an API to check live flight prices. It can query a database to get you the latest sales numbers. It can even send an email or book a meeting right on your calendar. This is what makes an agent active instead of just passive. Okay, so an agent that can act is great, but how do we make sure it acts correctly? You know, that it doesn't just go off the rails and make a mess. That brings us to our second building block, which I love, thinking twice. This is all about built-in quality control. This strategy, which is also called reflection, is kind of like giving the agent a mirror. It forces the agent to just stop for a second, look at its own work, and critique it before it ever comes back to you. It asks itself, is this actually good? Is it complete? How could I make this even better? A really common way to make this happen is with what you see here, a producer-critic model. It's brilliant. One agent, the producer, makes the first draft. It writes the code or the report. Then a second agent, the critic, comes in, and its only job is to be a harsh editor and find every single flaw. This back and forth makes the final product so much stronger. But what happens when a mission is just way too big for any one agent, no matter how smart it is? Well, that's where our final building block comes into play. You don't send a generalist to do a specialist's job, you build a specialized team. This is what we call a multi-agent system. The main system looks at the big, complex goal and breaks it down into smaller jobs. Then, each of those jobs is assigned to a specialist agent. You might have a market researcher agent, a creative writer, a code generator, and then a project manager agent coordinates all their work to deliver one single polished result. It's just like a human team. All right, so those are our three core building blocks: using tools, thinking twice, and building a team. Now for the fun part. Let's see how they all snap together to tackle a real-world mission that would make a simple chatbot totally crash. Imagine typing this into your typical AI assistant. A standard chatbot would probably just give you a list of travel websites and that's it. But an agent system can actually do it by combining the building blocks we just talked about. So what's the first move? It uses the building a team pattern. Right away, it knows this isn't a one-agent job. So it assembles a little crew: a travel planner agent, a budget analyst, and an itinerary coordinator, probably all overseen by a project manager agent. With the team in place, they immediately start using tools. And this isn't just theory. The travel planner is literally connecting to live airline APIs to get real-time flight data. Meanwhile, the budget analyst is securely querying your company's financial software to check the budget. They're gathering real data from the real world. And before a single penny is spent or a flight is booked, the whole system thinks twice. That project manager agent puts on its critic hat and reviews the entire plan. Is it within budget? Are the travel times realistic? Only after this internal audit gives the green light does the system move forward. And here's the magic. By combining these three simple building blocks, the system has turned your vague one-sentence idea into a fully detailed, vetted, and actionable plan. It's done all the boring research, all the coordination, all that heavy lifting completely for you. Now, just for a second, imagine that level of autonomous work applied to something bigger, like an entire company's supply chain or a city's traffic grid. This is why AI agents are so much more than just a neat productivity tool. This could signal a fundamental shift in how our entire economy works. In fact, some experts are saying we're heading towards what they call an agent economy, a new, hyper-efficient system that operates at a speed and scale that is just impossible for us humans to keep up with. We're talking about autonomous agents running businesses and managing logistics around the globe, all at the speed of light. And that really leaves us with the big question to chew on. We are right at the very, very beginning of this transformation, but we have to start asking ourselves, what does our world look like when huge parts of our economy start to operate at the speed of agents? That's a thought to take with you. Thanks for joining this explainer.